One of the things that I've heard though, and this is due to Jimmy's account, was that him and Esther had their own like tension, and even with a little bit of John Amos. Can you verify that?
I can verify that it wasn't like that. You know,
Okay.
he's a comedian
Okay.
and he hangs out all night long.
Okay.
So getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning, he's a groggy man in the morning. Yes, he is. He is like that. So he wouldn't speak to anybody. He wouldn't even speak to me. And I used to have to hit him. Wake up. Hello.
Wow.
Yeah, he go, no, that's him, you know.
Got you.
So I mean, I don't know. I have an understanding of people, you know. I understood him. I really did.
Right.
And I was really cool with all of them, but I really understood him. I'm like, I know you better say hello. You know
Right.
that.
Right. Brooklyn
He goes,
came out
yeah.
because
So
yeah.
I used to beg him to take me out somewhere because he used to hang out all night. You know, I say, why don't you
Right.
just take me somewhere? I'm stuck in the house. I want to go out or something. And he says, I'm not taking you anywhere. I said, okay, you don't have to. Then again, I'll go, okay, take me somewhere, drive me somewhere, take me. And he goes, oh gosh. He says, okay, all right, I'll pick you up later when I go to the comedy
Uh-huh.
store. I said,
Okay.
great, great. So he picks me up and he
Uh-huh.
has all these guys in the car.
Mm.
Yeah, he has Jay Leno, Freddie
Okay.
Prinze,
Wow. Wow.
David Brenner. Now they're sitting in the car, and here I am sitting. Nobody really spoke to me or anything. Jimmy's driving, and they're shooting jokes back and forth. Everything they say is the joke,
Right.
and I'm like, nobody's. I'm like, okay. And then we sit in the club all night. They're just running their lines, running their jokes, running their
Right.
jokes. So he finally takes me back to to my apartment, and I said, bye. And I said, you'll never have to take me anywhere again.
That's kind of funny. So, because I'm processing it from like different lenses of like, okay, normally in a crew, if, especially, were you the only woman that night?
Yes, I was the only one.
So I would wonder if somebody in the crew found you attractive,
Well, if they
and
did,
where
they didn't tell me.
I was gonna say, because guys do that too. They'd be a little scared to put themselves fully out there, so they might have disguised jokes if they were throwing jokes at you too. So I thought that was interesting, though. That's quite interesting.
And I just said, this is not even cool. It was just so different and odd and weird. Now
Hmm.
Jimmy says this, which I didn't really know, but he says
Hmm.
that, on tape night, which was Thursdays, he said I would have like lots and lots of dozens of flowers everywhere, right? Guys
Wow.
would send me flowers. And, especially like the NBA and all that, they sent all these flowers to me. And so there was one, Jimmy would say, oh, well, I'll take the flowers to her. I'll take those to her. And he would keep them and give them to his girl.
Hilarious.
I'm like,
Quite clever too.
yeah. Yeah, he always said that. He said, boy, they really loved her. You know, they would send her flowers. And I did. I got flowers from so many people.
Yeah, and I wanna like touch on that too, because I think that, again, like I said, what you represented is powerful. It's great to see that type of imagery, because sometimes we don't always get that, especially when we're not in control. But regarding the somewhat, like I mentioned earlier, some tension that you said that wasn't there, and I like that you were able to kind of clarify what it was. But I do recall that Esther and John had issues with his role. That was probably what the conversation also was attached. What was going on at the time? Like, were you in those conversations? How did you look at it from your vantage point when it came down to the role of JJ?
It was only from my vantage point because they never said a thing to me about it. I didn't
Mm,
really kind of know what they felt about it, until I wrote it in Ebony magazine. But
hmm
as the leaders of the show, as
mm,
Esther's the star of the show, John was the co-star of the show.
hmm
Quite naturally, you would have to make sure that the show is going in the right direction.
hmm
See, and that it's not like a something outside of the show, and then you jump back into the show. So that was
hmm
major for them. It's a family, and we all have to be connected into the show. So
hmm
that's probably what they were talking about as far as the writers writing certain things. You
Right.
see, they wanted things to go well. I remember in the first season of the show, they had JJ finding things, you
Okay.
know. So finding to Esther and John meant stealing.
Copy.
Uh-huh. So they did not want that. They did not want that. So they cut that out. So see, they had to watch, even though it could be funny and it could
Right.
make funny, but